Buckle up for the ride of your life. You're about to take off so fast. The things in your life are about to change so drastically that it might just give you whiplash, but in a good way. As a matter of fact, I got the vision of being prepared on a wild ride, like at an amusement park, a roller coaster, or something of that nature, where you'll have the attendant beginning to tell you like all the do's and don'ts of the ride. Keep your hands in the car, stay in your seat, yada, yada, yada. And it's like the calm before the takeoff when you know it's about to be wild, it's about to be crazy, but it's also about to be thrilling. Not wild and crazy in a scary way, but thrilling in a fun and exciting way. And so I feel like this is the likening of that readiness, that readying, to tell you to prepare yourself, buckle up, keep your hands in the vehicle at all times. Don't, stand up in the ride or whatever, all the things. But for the most part, just to prepare you with all the safety precautions and measures necessary, as a formality, so to speak, so that you can enjoy the ride to its fullest extent, really and truly. And like I said, it's happening so fast that your head might spin. Now, we're going to look further into that, or hopefully continue on in that vibe. I sure hope so, because I was loving it. It was so many great cards, but what kept coming up the most was the Chariot. I swear it came up about maybe 4 times in my pre-shuffle. By the way, I'm Danae. I'm here with a message for you. And today is, Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026, of course, and it's 11:39 on the clock. Now, the flip side of this is that a lot of people, or somebody, or some people are really, really not happy about this reality for you. It's like they couldn't get on the ride, or they weren't tall enough or whatever to ride that ride, and they're having to stand on the end and wait for everybody or hold all the bags. You know how it go. And so they're not experiencing that same level of thrill. I'll tell you how that confirmed in real time as I was setting up. I got everything all situated. I had already done my pre-shuffle. I was literally about to record, and I wanted to readjust, my station here, and I have my notebook of prayers like sitting up on the wall right in front of me. And just all of a sudden, things on my desk just started just as I sat down. And I didn't bump anything, I didn't touch anything, but my notebook slid in the little crack of my desk, and I had to catch it. That's never happened before. I had to catch it. It almost ripped out my most recent prayer off the seams, because it's a perforated notebook. It slid all of my stuff all over the place that I had just neatly placed. So I had to readjust, realign all over again. Nonetheless, the show must and always will go on. But I'm saying that to say that there's definitely some resentment and maybe even some lingering resistance that some would like to project onto this ideal reality for you, maybe to delay it from happening, derail it, as we're talking about rides, to cause some type of freak occurrence or accident where it doesn't come to pass, as I talked about cars, or just wanting to spoil it in some way, shape, or form, even if you were to receive or experience this bliss of life experience, of life existence. They would want to stand by and be as much of an interruption as they possibly can. So there's that on the sidelines. But like I said, it only took me just a few moments to place everything back as it was supposed to be. And here we are, like it never happened. So take that as you will. Let's see what we got today. I hope you're doing well. Oh, you know what? I'll be forgetting to. I do this off camera, of course, but I forget to give it a little cutsy for you. I hope you're doing well. I hope the week is great. Yeah. It's probably still some lingering energy from the full moon. I think let's see, Sunday, it's Wednesday. It happened early morning Sunday, I think, more or less. So Monday, Tuesday. I mean, we're definitely on our way out, if not completely, of that energy. But because it was such a powerful transit, lunation, it's quite possible that you might still feel the aftershocks or the remnants of that motion. Good, bad, good, well, I'll say for the best and for the worst, for sure. So it is what it is. Like I said, the show must go on. The chariot, no one can stop the chariot. The ride will continue to run, business as usual, as long as it's functioning properly. And it's going to be a thrill. No doubt it's going to be a thrill. Even if you're one of those people that doesn't particularly love wild rides, like, you might scream your head off all the way through. I hope not. But you may be one of those ones like, oh, why did I get on this ride? By the end of it, when your feet are on the ground, it still was a thrill, even if you never do it again. So nonetheless, there's something to be excited about. And I think how the message came through is just so on point for the season that we're finally, at least where I am, we're finally starting to feel like we're moving into, where the weather is matching the season. And it's just beautiful outside, sunny and breezy and warm, not too hot, definitely not cold, not raining. Birds are chirping right now as I speak. It's good stuff. It's good vibes. It's good vibes. Thank God. All right. So let's see what we got. Moon card. Okay. What's hidden or what's secret that we need to know or care to know? And that's funny because I just said the moon energy might still be lingering. So literally, what do we need to know or care to know? Because we don't care about any hanky-panky going on behind the scenes or beyond the veil that is not really going to have an effect anyway. If this is just a FYI, let's not and say we did. Let's not ruin a sunny day. Page of Swords, I'm going to put it back though. It didn't really flip completely. Somebody's curious though, and maybe that's what's going on behind the veil. Somebody watching, waiting to see what happens next, what you're doing, curious about. Well, clearly they can't see much, or they can't really get a read off of your energy enough to know like what the future holds in the way that they would be most satisfied to know. Like all they may be able to do is speculate or guess or consider the possibilities, but there's some like that, maybe that's what it is, like there's some type of cloak that's been like a veil that's been drawn that somebody can't see through. Wow. And here's the star here. Somebody is being cloaked, protected. It's like whatever is unfolding for you, let's just say for you, because we gonna talk to Ken today, okay? Whatever is unfolding for you is not going to be known until it's known. No longer can somebody get the drop, the heads up, or the the inside scoop, so to speak, on what's up with you, because 9 times out of 10, of course, we know by experience what they've done in the past is use that information again to cause some type of, that's the anger and the rage that was coming through my shit, falling all over the place. And I said out loud, I was like, damn, somebody really don't want that prayer to go through in more ways than one. Like somebody's really trying to block a prayer from manifesting, but it is so. The star is destiny. It's fated. It's already done. And that's what the moon is veiling for protective purposes. And it's like somebody throwing a temper tantrum because they really, not only do they really want to go on the ride, they at least want to keep you from getting on. And there's some type of resistance that they're now experiencing that is keeping them from being able to block or stop that ride. And they know that if they can't stop and block it, it's going to be that much harder once you're actually on it to cause any disruption. It's like once the ride is gone, what, you going to kill yourself trying to jump in front of the track and ruin it for somebody? No. Or if you do, that would be crazy. You know what I mean? So it's like somebody wants to delay something so bad because they know like that'll be the completion of something. Here it is, some type of wish fulfillment, something prayed for, something deeply desired, some blissful reality, finally coming to pass or something like that. It's being protected. And so you are as well. It's like I said in the beginning, all the safety measures and precautions are being muffly recited over. How muffled those ride mics be sounding. It's so funny. I can hear it, but I can't what's the word? I can't imitate it successfully at this time. But you know what I mean, at a carnival, at an amusement park, whatever, and it's like, who even knows? All you heard was keep your hands in the vehicle at all times, but you don't know nothing else they said. And most of the time, especially as a kid, you don't care. You just want the ride to start. But it just has to be said, like even now, like I said, we don't really need to know that. We don't care what the resistance is seething and what opposition is still trying to interrupt and intervene and so on and so forth. But it's just like the preliminary stuff, the formality type stuff that just, I guess, gets to be known. This comes with the territory before you have your thrill, to just know that there's still someone on the ground that's going to be mad that you're having the ride of your life. What was that? Ooh, not the death card, child. King of Swords. What about the King of Swords? Let's see, child. After the death card, let's see. I feel like the King of Swords is trying to act as some type of regulator, like, like the inspector or something, to say like this ride isn't safe, or it needs to be shut down or something, like trying to impose all of these new rules and regulations as to why someone either shouldn't be able to ride or the ride shouldn't be operating or something. Like that's what I get after the death card. Like somebody's trying to put a grave end like an absolute stop to something. But let me see. What's after this King of Swords? The King of Swords does not, I mean, next to the star, it is what it is. But generally for me, the King of Swords is always questionable. It's a questionable energy for me, to be honest. I need to know, I need to be clear on what he's showing up for, because a lot of times it's with the projection of honor and loyalty and trustworthiness and all of that, but sometimes in most of my readings it's something quite opposite, or that's just the front or the facade for something else. With the Two of Pentacles, yeah, like something, and the Ace of Swords. Somebody that is more or less like, that has a deficiency in their own personal truth, but they want to be the dictator of something else or someone else. Like, it's just, it gives like almost fraudulent energy, like someone putting themselves in a position or assuming a certain position of authority to make rules or lay down the law or whatever, that they really may not have, they're not really ordained. Let me get a clarifying one on the King of Swords, because I know the Ace of Swords feels positive, but I feel like that's more confirming of what I'm sensing and saying than it is of the King of Swords honor. But let me get one just to be real clear, so you know what I mean. Wheel of Fortune. What about the Wheel of Fortune? What else is the Wheel of Fortune? That kind of came out a little weird. Okay, so somebody's trying to, the reason why they're trying to change the rules or impose some type of new rules or regulations is because they want to ride the ride. And they want to adjust the regulations, like how I was saying, you gotta be this tall to ride this ride, whatever. They want to adjust all of that so that they can be admitted, you know. But the karma of it all, the fate and fortune of it all, is that, you know, the ride is already, everybody that's supposed to be on the ride at this point, at this go round, is already strapped in, locked and loaded, and somebody is like, all your friends got on without you, and you gotta wait for the next batch, and you may not even know all those people. You know, like how sometimes it's only a certain number of seats. I mean, most of the time when you go to amusement parks with friends, you all will even wait for each other to get on. Like, you wouldn't just leave your friends, good friends anyway. But it's given, this even looks like kind of like a Ferris wheel or something like that. But in this case, it's like someone isn't tall enough, or they haven't, whatever the criteria is, they somehow fall short of that, or they came too late or whatever, and they may not make it on that go round. And it doesn't mean that anybody, so they would want to impose new rules and regulations so that they can jump on, but it's virtually too late. Let me go back to the moon, since I'm doubling up. Let me go back to the moon and the stars, just because we got time. What's that? Ooh, not the Temperance. Beautiful. It didn't really pop fully, so just to be fair, but keep that same energy. That's exactly what I said, like just some supreme protection and balance and spiritual balance in order. Like, it's happening for somebody regardless. Like, it's It's real angels on the job. And I really feel like this is more over here. I really do. Like I said, somebody trying to hold something back or hold on to, you know, like they got their little coin or their little ticket in hand, but it's like that's cool or whatever. But let me go back to the moon. What's that? Two of Cups. Something so balanced now and equal and harmonious, and that's the essence that's being protected and covered in such a supreme way that nobody on the earth is going to be able to disrupt that. It's in divine hands now at this point. Like somebody, divine wants somebody to get on this ride for once and for all. Ain't no more delays. Ain't no more it's shut down for the rain or for, you know, whatever. It's like, no, it's fully operating. And if you meet the requirements as someone has, you got a seat. Enjoy the ride. And as I've said before, it's not even a matter of if, it's a matter of when, because look at this, the Hierophant. It's a matter of when, just as it is when you do get on those rides. It's like once you strapped in and, you know, that person starts talking, they talk on the microphone, is the ship is kind of sailed for you to get off. I mean, you could disrupt everybody's experience with some last outburst of fear or anxiety, and I'm sure they will let you off. But for the most part, once the formalities are in motion, it's literally only a matter of moments before that jerk initiation begins your first, you know, takeoff. Usually on some type of incline for your first dip or loop-de-loop or whatever it is you're going on, whatever it is you're experiencing. And by the way, I love rides. I do. Now, I don't really mess with stuff that is like death drops and shit like that where you're expected to feel like your life is on the blink of, you know, non-existence. But I do enjoy a good roller coaster. I do. All right, let's go back to this. Let's see, what was that? Four of Wands. Look at that. And you know what? I'm gonna put that here. Yep, I'm taking all type of liberties today. Yep. This is like it's like the fulfillment of a covenant here. And that's why it's so protected. You know, this is anointed, appointed, ordained by divine standards. So it's like things have already been put into place and into motion on the earthly plane to support what is fated and destined on a divine, from a divine ordinance. So it's like things have already been put into alignment, like I was saying, like protective measures to make sure that you are prepared and aware of everything, to, you know, or as at least as prepared and aware of what's to come as you possibly can be. You know, you still got to live the thrill as it comes, but you're all safe and secure. There's no reason for fear, anxiety. Like, you're in good hands, you know. It's like all of that is happening here. So naturally, it's the precautions that have been, the measures that have been taken to make sure that anything that would want to malfunction or present or what's the word, impose a malfunction or a breakdown is already too late and disabled itself, you know. So Like somebody's already too preoccupied with now, or they will be, with now trying to figure out how they can get on, how they can um, grow a couple inches. Maybe literally, we're talking about ascension here. Well, not figuratively, I should say, we're talking about ascension here. How they can grow up or grow a few inches so that they can get on the next round or whatever. They're going to be too preoccupied with that, and the things that they have to balance and manage and so on and so forth, to really be able to cause any negative effect on your ride, which makes the thrill that much more exciting when you realize that you don't even have to, like, or take it back to the car analogy, where you don't even have to worry about traffic, or you don't have a thought about an accident or anything like that. And even if you did, you got great insurance and, stuff like that. It's like nobody wants to incur anything obstinate, but you're protected. You got all your ducks in a row and things in alignment just in case. You're not going to be caught out there, worst case scenario. But generally speaking, like, this is all very optimistic and pleasant and mysterious in some ways, but not to you in a way that is scary, but more so maybe some things, like I said, about the ride or the journey that haven't unfolded yet, that you have to experience. And then on the other side, the things that don't need to be known or public knowledge for others to even be tempted to tamper with. Ace of, I got two things here. Not ace, but the Page of Pentacles, which I'm going to put up here. And the Two of Cups again. The Two of Cups. Yeah, like this is giving somebody finding their ticket finally. Maybe they haven't juggled multiple things, like finding their way onto this ride of harmony and balance. Like, this is the ride ultimately. This like, how they have like the dueling dragons, and that might be loaded what I'm saying there. Yeah. I think a lot of places might have something like that, but I feel like there's something like that at Six Flags, or it might have been at like King's Dominion, which is in Virginia. Yeah, where they have like the fire and ice dragon, or the dueling dragons, two roller coasters that go at the same time. It's something like that here, like somebody is, it's given that, but you know what? Here it is again, the Page of Pentacles. They're still coming up short. They're still coming up short, at least right now. And here it is, right after I said somebody's trying to impose some new regulations, some new rules that would suit them, but they're still coming up short. Maybe because they can't even abide by their own rules and regulations. That would be funny. But ultimately because the official rules and regulations that truly matter, not the imposed ones, are the ones that someone is not quite measuring up to. Because the Page of Pentacles is like a kid. So it's given like look, he's on the horse here. He's got his feet propped up on two pentacles here. It's like that. I'm getting that visual of silly movies sometimes, like the Little Rascals, when the kids like stack up on top of each other and try to measure up to an adult. It's given something like that, like somebody's trying to measure up to what it would take to get on, to buy their way into this thrill, maybe trying to actually buy their way or bribe their way, barter their way into this thrill that seems quite sacred at this time or exclusive. And it's not so much, it's just that you have to meet the requirements. You have to be tall enough. You have to be ascended enough to experience the thrill on this level. And somebody's still coming up short. Yeah, so let's see what else. The one card, the Six of Wands. Yeah, that's like the ride leaving. This is the ride taking off. And right before the Two of Cups, or between the Two of Cups, it's like someone would want to stow away into that boat and like hitch a ride to that peaceful shore that boat is undoubtedly on its way to, but they mess around and get tossed overboard with no paddle, no life jacket, and just be, what is it called? Flandering? That don't sound right. Floundering, I think. Is that the right word? Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Let me get one more on the other side of the Two of Cups. Because once again, it's getting to be a bit too much about like somebody else or something else. We don't care. We're ready to ride this ride, and we're going regardless of what anybody thinks or cares about it. Yeah, it's already in motion though. It's already, or you're already strapped in. That's the gist of it. Yeah, this the thrill. The Three of Cups, like, yay, woo, ah! Oh, man. Or even the after effect of, like, when you get off and your adrenaline is high, you're like, man, that was good, let's go again type energy. That is so funny. And the thrill, honestly, with the Four of Wands, the Hierophant, the Two of Cups, the Three of Cups, the thrill might actually be some type of relationship or partnership, and that also being protected. That's something that has been underway, faded for a long time, that's been interrupted or interfered or has malfunctioned or been inoperable multiple times over, many seasons, many years, many lifetimes, and now it's like, no, it's time to go now. It's time for these dueling dragons to finally, have their ride. And there's something about that that's being celebrated. And it might be the one, of course, it's the ones that are actually experiencing the thrill, but something else on a higher plane is also being celebrated, that finally this is happening. Two people are coming together. A partnership is finally being forged without interference. A covenant is being realized, not just in spirit, but now in truth and flesh. And overcoming some achievement of sorts has been made so that a new reality or ideal can be established. Yeah. And it's been a bumpy ride to get here in the first place, but mainly due to the fact that, as I said before, once you're buckled in and you take off on the main attraction, not just the little small little you know, rides along the way, it's no stopping it. It's official. Like, yeah, it's done. Whatever it is, this is the moment that's been anticipated, feels like on a divine level, and perhaps even, you know, and on a human level as well, to some degree, because I don't think anybody can anticipate their fate playing out in the way that the divine truly has in mind. You know, like, you don't, if you're riding a roller coaster for the first time, you don't really know all of what to expect before you experience it, but that's part of the thrill. Or even if you've experienced it before, like maybe you've been to Six Flags years ago, but you don't remember how that ride felt. You know, maybe you were in love decades ago, but you don't really remember the thrill of it all, falling in love again and learning someone new and being vulnerable, and maybe just not even on this level of thrill. You know, have you experienced where two people are actually on the same page, wanting to experience the same thrill together, you know? So it's something about that here. But the Six of Swords affirms that it's definitely, it's something good to look forward to. Like, as thrilling as it is, it's also very safe and secure. Ooh, that was a Five of Pentacles. As I say, safe and secure. Want to be projecting the very opposite. Crazy. Six of Cups. Oh man, I gotta call them back. Six of Cups. Bam. Like I said, safe and secure. Trustworthy. Familiar. Could even be a reunion. Souls reuniting from another timeline, another life, another season, a past experience, finally on one accord, on the same page, of emotionally available at the same time. You're gonna love it. Whatever it is, you're gonna love it. And you're gonna want to keep riding over and well, pause. Keep riding over and over again. I didn't mean it that way, but it's like, let's go again. Maybe, actually, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it's a lot of, it's quite a bit of, oh, you hear that? Maybe confirmation. It's a lot of love. It's a lot of cups, though. Well, not a lot, but some significant cup energy here. I don't see a lot of wands except for the Four Wands, which is far more balanced. So even if there is a lot of passion, it's, and then we saw the Temperance energy, like it's balanced passion. It's not, you know, lustful to the point where it's impure or unholy or debilitating in some way. Yeah, so somebody seeing like you on your way to that, they like, but what about me? I qualify. No, you don't. Maybe somebody wants to be, yeah, like they want to be considered for companionship, or considered to be, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like not a candidate, but I forget, but You feel me? They want to be considered for companionship in a way, but here it is. They're, again, too short to ride this ride. They weren't willing to put themselves in a position to actually be a Four of Cups, a Four of Wands match, to actually measure up to a star-powered energy, to be on the same page emotionally as a Two of Cups. They're not written in the destiny in that way, not for what's coming next. So somebody wanted to like lower the standard, or change the rules and the regulations so that they could appear to be, or present themselves to be, what is the word that's bothering me that I can't hear it? Like a prospect. Yeah, like a prosperous prospect. Like, yeah, I'm a good catch too. And maybe they are. Maybe it's not as contrary as I sense, but it's like somebody trying to write themselves into a destiny that they just are not in alignment for. They might have their own match or ideal, or fame. Not fame. Well, fame is here too with the Star card, but I really mean fortune and favor that they have assigned to them, but they're trying to write themselves into a destiny that they're just not, that's not designed for them. Or even if it was, it's not now. It's not anymore. Not in this way. Like I said, the ride's like, yeah, Ace of Pentacles. The ride's already ready to go. And somebody can't even, I don't know. One more and we out of here. Keep in mind that Ace of Pentacles, that's the ultimate. That's what they really need or really want, some like major opportunity. And here, like that's the focus here. Like they're trying to supplement it in these menial ways, but the big one, the one that comes from the divine, is what they're missing. Like that big invitation, that big ticket, so to speak. They haven't earned that. Yeah, one more, I said. Maybe I should have took that Ace of Pentacles fairly. Really? You want to say one more thing? All right, one more and then we out. For real this time. What's that? Emperor. Interesting. The big boss. Nine of Wands. Yeah, somebody looking like, damn, they don't measure up. The Nine of Wands. Looking back at the Emperor like, damn. Now finally examining themselves like, because as I said, it's somebody that's been presenting themselves to measure up. Like I was saying about the King of Swords, what they presented was believable to an extent, but when it comes down to it, you know how, the reality hits when you get to that measuring stick, and right before you get on the ride, and you're just not quite there. You're not at an emperor's level. You may want to call the shots, and here it is. This makes sense. Like, want to make the rules and maybe even break the rules because they felt they had the authority to do so. But when it comes down to it, you may be able to cosplay as an emperor, but do you really measure up to that status? And that's a truth that can't be finessed. Not for long, at least not forever. Yeah, well, here we go. Nine of Swords. They're sad that they missed it. Or sad, like FOMO is what I'm getting here. Even thinking about maybe not just what they, because like I said, this ride hasn't even officially taken off yet. We just strapping in and getting ready. So is somebody having a fear of all the thrills that they're about to miss out on? All the fun that they may not have the privilege to experience. Because now they got to go back and get taller, pretty much. So that's what it is. Here's the thrill. Now the ride is beginning. The Eight of Wands. This is the takeoff, the acceleration, the whiplash, or it's happening so fast you wouldn't have had time to prepare if you weren't warned to prepare, i.e. even by this message, like, buckled up. Here we go. Queen of Pentacles. She got the ticket. She got the ticket. Or the token, the coin, whatever. Whatever. It feels like a ticket, though. What does that mean with the Queen of Pentacles? I mean, certainly some accelerated wealth or prosperity. Let me think about this for a second. It's unlimited. Pardon me. Like how it's like the way the Queen of Cups is reading to me. Here it is. It's like, okay. So it's like this energy that I've been talking about with this coin, trying to present this coin. It's like, when you go to a carnival is when you actually usually get tickets, unless you pay for a band or something like that. But what I'm seeing right now is like somebody trying to bring carnival tickets to get on at like another park, or to get on at some other type of amusement space, like a Six Flags or Universal or King's Dominion. Oh, I didn't even catch that before. Just the name, and I love King's Dominion. It's so much fun. That is the name of it, right? When you say something and now it don't sound right. Yeah, King's Dominion. Let me look it up. Now I feel strange. But I used to go there a lot when I was a kid, because we used to go to Virginia for King's Dominion for vacation. But that's what it just gave me. It's like this with the Queen of Pentacles is like having, you pay your fee, right? When you go to a place like a King's Dominion, a Dorney Park, any of those, you pay what you pay and you ride unlimited. Like there's no limitation till they close on what you can ride and what you can do, for the most part, as far as rides are concerned. But when you're at a carnival, it's a lot more limited usually, where you buy, usually it's more ticketed, of course, unless you decide to buy like a band or some all access thing. But usually on smaller carnivals, it's like a ticket. So that's just the visual I just got, where somebody's trying to bring some tinder from another space to use it to get on. Maybe that's the restricted access, to get on, almost like to pass it off as their entry into this unlimited, here it is, space. And the tender does not, it's not the proper exchange. You're either going to have to pay the admission fee for the unlimited access, or you don't get in. You can't just get in, even at this point, to just watch other people ride. Either way, you still gotta pay that fee. If you want to take your coins and your tickets and tokens over to Chuck E. Cheese, per se, maybe that's a little bit on your level, or to the local carnival that the thrill is gone after maybe an hour or two, so be it. But Six Flags, King's Dominion, Universal, those are the type of parks you want to get there early and you want to stay all day till it closes, and maybe come back again if you are vacationing overnight. And that's the type of access that is being gifted now at this time, where that has been purchased by will, by devotion, that's been earned more or less by action, as depicted in the Four of Wands. So, like I said, buckle up, keep your hands inside the vehicle at all times. But in so many certain terms, enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.